These are the funniest fake Minecraft speedruns. The speedrunner approaches this tree in front of them. They're breaking down the blocks, but just one more layer that adds to the suspiciousness of this speedrun. If you listen to the audio, why is the speedrunner chuckling? What is funny about a tree, Buster? Everything here is looking normal. They turn their oak logs into planks. They make a crafting table. They make some sticks. And don't ask me why, but they pause their game, and as soon as they resume it, there's like a mouse edit on the screen. Unnecessary, but funny. Well, the speedrunner crafts their wooden pickaxe. But wait a second, why are they digging down? And why is there a picture for every sound effect? Buddy, can you replace the batteries on your smoke detector? Oh, okay, I get it now. So they're getting some stone.
Now getting stone.
Things get so chaotic. They got speedrunning music with the Minecraft soundtrack, with this speedrunner's friend literally burping.
I'm on an island. Bad spawn.
Oh, brother. Oh, man, a second burp. Keep it to yourself. I guarantee if I burped like that in a video, I would lose all of my subscribers. It just gets so much more confusing. The speedrunner is trying to find something, maybe a village, maybe a ruined nether portal, and out of nowhere, this ginormous face just fades in over the entire screen. And then when the speedrunner drops their pickaxe, there's some goofy sound effect for that too. Legitimately, I have no idea what's happening anymore. Is this a Minecraft speedrun or a meme review? They're putting the I am Steve thing up on the screen. What is that? Five Nights at Freddy's? Get that off my screen. The speedrunner is making a stone sword. Meanwhile, they got the I yearned for the mines picture on the screen. This is the world's first meme speedrun. Hang on a second, watch this next clip and tell me if you notice anything suspicious.
Did you guys just see that grass box?
Yeah, what in the world? I have so many questions and I need answers to them now. And of course, like every other stupid fake Minecraft speedrun, these guys are just trying to waste my time. 2.5 minutes of it to be exact. The speedrunner stops out of nowhere. They open up their chat box and all of a sudden, the Matrix is covering their speedrun footage. As you can literally hear them up to no good through their microphone. Then out of nowhere, the Matrix overlay disappears by accident, revealing that the speedrunner has been trying to type /game mode. Then there's a sudden cut where the speedrunner recreates their world in creative mode. Another sudden cut, and now the timer has been reset, and the first frame we see is creative mode. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. The speedrunner is giving themselves full diamond gear, slower than the immortal snail, and you can hear him going, oh, how do I make it go fast?
How do I make it go fast?
Get good, buddy. And yep, this is the point that we are at. The speedrunner is floating around in creative mode. They drop into the water. There's another goofy meme overlay edit. At least they're having fun. So the speedrunner gives themselves Eyes of Ender in creative mode. They are spamming so many of them in the sky. More memes. Insane Minecraft skills. 0.000001% luck to get elytra this early. And I'm pretty sure brother misspelled elytra. It gets so much worse. His friend says the most absurd and unhinged thing I have ever heard. And then the speedrunner is apologizing to us. Oh, sorry about that.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to piss the bed.
What? Sorry about the background noise, guys.
Sorry about the background noise. Brother, it's not like it's a bunch of pots and pans. I kid you not. A solid 20 seconds of this speedrunner just floating around like a goofball. I am just not getting it. The speedrunner starts typing in the chat /locate structure. He's trying to find the stronghold, but if you listen to the audio from the footage, the speedrunner is saying, oh, my game is lagging.
My game's lagging again, hold on.
Brother, this is single player. You don't even need internet to speedrun Minecraft. Then, while he is trying to locate a stronghold, the Windows restarting screen pops up while you can literally hear him clacking and clicking on his keyboard.
I have to reset my computer real quick.
Blue screen to blue screen.
Blue screen.
Another splash screen pops up. Oh no, our speed run, we got the blue screen of death. What are we gonna do? Then the overlays disappear. What, do you have a trial mode on your video editor and you only get 5 seconds of layers? Because you can clearly see he's typing in Minecraft stronghold. Never mind, he can't spell. There is so much background noise. They're saying that there's a hurricane, that there's lightning striking his grandmother's house. What?
Dude, I think lightning just struck my grandma outside. Hold on. Grandma's outside. I think Santa might run her over or something. I don't know.
This guy is saying that he's getting hacked and there's a global pandemic. And then after all this nonsense and baloney, there's a sudden cut. It clearly says you've been teleported to this location. And they're in creative mode just digging straight down. Until everybody is having a laugh because this guy literally misses the stronghold and just digs right into the void. Another sudden cut. The speedrunner is building a portal while they are literally saying, "Oh, this is a rare phenomena when the portal spawns right in front of you."
It's a very rare phenomenon where this portal spawns right in front of you.
What a load of horseradish. I hope you step on a Lego. So now, yes, the speedrunner is in the end. Hold the phone. Why is the dragon T-posing over there? Nope, never mind. He just came back to life. I'm not sure what in tarnation happens here. The speedrunner throws an Eye of Ender onto the ground. They go to the pause menu. We get another blue screen of death. And then out of nowhere, they've been updated to survival mode and they have a whole hotbar worth of beds. And wow, what a monumental moment. World record time of 3 minutes. But if you think that this goofball is actually gonna beat the dragon legitimately, you are sorely mistaken. Unless you can fight the Ender Dragon with memes, this guy stands no chance. Because they literally put a bed down in front of them by accident, almost ending themselves. Nope, never mind, I take it back. The speedrunner types 3 slashes with an L, and it's too late because they are done. Then you hear him say this.
The Ender Dragon is hacking.
And yeah, out of nowhere, the Ender Dragon just plops right in front of them out of thin air. I'm convinced the Ender Dragon is hacking. The speedrunner kills everything in his vicinity, including himself. You got the Matrix on the top left of the screen now. And I guess they beat the game. Nope. There is no trace left of the dragon. So, for some reason, as if this is gonna be any more legitimate, there is a sudden cut. The speedrunner spawns another Ender Dragon. The speedrunner does the same kill command. And I guess they do technically beat the Ender Dragon. His friends are in the background literally applauding him.
There we go! There we go! That is how you speedrun Minecraft.
Thanks for watching.
Yep, just like that. That is indeed how you speedrun this game. Guinness World Records approves it. Holy cannoli. It is a Christmas miracle. The title of this speedrun is 100% Real Minecraft Speedrun Christmas Edition. Oh, jolly, just in time for Christmas. So the loading screen is looking great. Things are looking up. They spawn into the world. Who is GN Storm 5433? And why did they try to swim in lava? He's selecting the second slot on his hotbar. It's safe to say that something is wrong here, but let's give them the benefit of the doubt. They spawn right in front of a village, which is very good news. The speedrunner then approaches this villager, opening up the trades, but wait, what are they doing?
Alright, sir. Are you here for Santa?
What in tarnation? What is this? A 2010 Minecraft roleplay video? Since when do villagers speak? Yeah, I kid you not, this villager is instructing the speedrunner to go to the right. I'm just gonna ask this question, don't make fun of me. Is this a new feature? No, surely this is just some sort of buffoonery. There's no way that Santa would be Santa.
Oh my god, it's Santa! Yo! Santa!
Ho, ho! Merry Christmas!
Yes, that is right. The speedrunner literally was just sitting around like an idiot, wasting so much time. Out of nowhere, some Minecraft player dressed up like Santa named GN Weckle 0629 comes out of nowhere. Some sort of goofy, low-quality MP3 is played in the background, and they're even saying it in the chat log. Ho ho, how ridiculous. I mean, come on. Santa even spelled Mary wrong. Santa literally hands the speedrunner a red wrap present, which I'm pretty sure between you and me is just a shulker box. But wow, it's Santa. Santa's present for you: a diamond sword, helmet, chestplate, leggings, and more. Then, like the goober that he is, Santa just floats away into the distance. That is literally one of my favorite qualities about a fake speedrun, when a player in creative mode just flies away into the sunset. Wow, how convenient. The speedrunner now has a full stack of obsidian and flint and steel to make that sweet nether portal. Wait, why are they building it so high. Buddy has 5 hearts. This was a horrible idea. He is not going to survive that jump. Oh, nope, never mind. Nice work. He survived. And just like that, the speedrunner lights their nether portal. They jump into their portal, entering the nether. So the speedrunner is in the nether now. Hallelujah. Wait, what was that? I need to investigate this. Well, I personally am mystified. Nothing looks wrong here. Everything seems exactly as it was before the cut. Hang on a second. What is that? Tony, you know the drill. Do a zoom. Yep, my goofball detector is picking up some wild activity. Did the speedrunner just pick up a random golden pickaxe lying around just sitting there? Yeah, he did.
Yo, is that a pickaxe? Let's go. I just got a free pickaxe. Those are nether pickaxes. They spawn naturally.
Yes, how ridiculous. This speedrunner is trying to convince speedrun.com moderators that golden pickaxes just spawn naturally. Yeah, you know, the golden pickaxe was taking a vacation. Just getting some sunbathing done. Things just get so much worse. Listen to the speedrunner say this.
Yo, I'm really hoping for some nether water.
What in tarnation? Did this guy just say he's hoping for some nether water? I hate to break it to you, Buster, but that's not a thing.
Oh, let's go! There's nether water.
And I'm gonna be honest, for a while I forgot that this was the Christmas special. So everything's looking normal. The speedrunner is running around trying to find, I don't know, a nether fortress, a bastion. But instead, they find a gift from Daddy Santa. Oh my goodness. What is this, my comment section? And hold the phone, that was just so disturbing. The speedrunner is getting attacked by a skeleton and their reaction is really weird. What the heck? Yep, this is something that I could not make up in my wildest dreams. The speedrunner finds a chest with this ridiculous sign next to it. They break the netherrack directly above the chest to open the chest, revealing Daddy Santa himself hiding behind the walls. So the speedrunner opens up this chest. Why is it full of redstone dust? Until something has gone horribly wrong because you hear the speedrunner say this.
What's that noise?
Yes, this is one of the biggest betrayals in anime history. Santa betrayed a speedrunner. I can't believe it. This is not a Christmas miracle at all. But then, with a wild twist and turn of the plot, the speedrunner is teleported back into the nether. G and Weckle apologizes, saying, sorry for killing you. Here, have this present. It is just for you. And inside, blaze rods and ender pearls. Whoop-de-doo-dah. Oh, brother, if you think that it can't get any worse, it does. The speedrunner is now attempting to return back to their nether portal, and they encounter an enormous oversized present in the nether. Yeah, this must be the new Christmas update. So they mine through the wall of this present, revealing G and Weckle with a completed nether portal and yet another red shulker box with even more ridiculous items to help the speedrunner. So the speedrunner jumps into this nether portal, returning to the overworld. They craft blaze powder, they craft some eyes of ender. Things take an even worse turn somehow. Listen to what the speedrunner is saying in their microphone.
Looking for something good to eat in this village?
Yeah, while the speedrunner claims that they are looking for something good to eat, and I know you can't see me, but I'm air quoting, they find 2 signs in front of them saying, do you hate villager scammers? Nuke them with lever for only 1 emerald. What in tarnation? And yes, exactly what you think is gonna happen happens. The speedrunner pulls the lever, and then their computer ceases to exist. It is unable to handle whatever in the world is triggered by this lever.
What's that noise? What's happening? Why is my game lagging? I see TNT! No way they just got nuked. That's a big hole. Alright.
This is speedrunning history. The speedrunner nukes the village, and in the wake and aftermath, there is an end portal just hanging around, sitting there. This is so hilarious. And I feel like I keep on saying, oh, things can't get worse. Things just can't get worse. They do. They get worse. Cue the worst acting I have ever witnessed in my entire life.
Dude, it's a ender portal, nether portal, never mortal.
What in tarnation are you saying? Ender portal, nether mortal, flortal, bortal. You're not making any sense, buddy. Whatever. I can't get so worked up about this buffoonery. The speedrunner fills the end portal with eyes. Entering the end, they dig up to the surface of the end island, and then I'm not sure what happens here because you can clearly hear the speedrunner blowing a whirlwind into their microphone saying, oh, I had some dust on my screen. But then right after that, something real unusual happens.
Alright, I had a little dust on my screen.
Yeah, what was the point of that? Especially considering right after that, the speedrunner is so dumb, they almost die and they're screaming in their microphone like a little... Never mind.
Die in a giant... Oh no!
That was absolutely hilarious. And Tony, do a zoom. Who is this? Is this the second return of Santa? Things get crazy. GN Weckl puts down a lever. They send a message in the chat saying, pull the lever. And I am actually genuinely curious as to what is going on, because as soon as the speedrunner pulls this lever, the Ender Dragon is getting spawn camped with lightning and thunder. The speedrunner is freaking out, and all of a sudden the dragon just shatters into a million pieces and dies. And I'm sorry, but did the speedrunner say the Ender Dragon is explosionizing?
The Ender Dragon is explosionizing! The Ender Dragon is explosionizing! Yo! The dragon's... the Ender Dragon died.
What in tarnation? Nope, never mind. The dragon clearly was killed with a command. How lame. And I love how at the end of the speedrunner and GN Weckl are throwing snowballs at the screen, crouching, swinging in the air with their pickaxes, as if this is like some sort of silly 2010 Minecraft roleplay video. This speedrunner looks oddly familiar, like he's a famous hacker I know or something. And whoa, doggy, is this a speedrun of AI Minecraft? Oh, you are in for a treat. The timer begins. The speedrunner is slam jamming on their keyboard.
Alright, is there a flag?
And they spawn in right in front of a village. How lucky. The speedrunner turns around, they do a double take. The village is completely gone, shattered into a million pieces within 0.5 seconds. We are truly in the future. The speedrunner is looking down, they're looking up, and somehow they just conjure up an ocean right in front of them. And then hang on a second, what did the speedrunner just say?
In the inner yacht iris for you to edge to me.
Huh? Well, I have no idea what he just said or what it means, but they're looking up, they're looking down, and somehow the speedrunner gets wheat right in front of them. How lucky. The wheat in front of them is just exponentially reproducing. I think this guy is losing his mind. He just repeatedly is asking me, do I kiss my mother with that mouth?
Kiss your mother with a mouth. Kiss your mother with a mouth.
What kind of question is that? You're the one saying Riz, edge, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, it doesn't matter. The speedrunner is looking into the wheat. It turns into hay bales. Then it turns into honeycombs. Then the honeycombs turn into lava. And this speedrunner has certified lost it. What is he chanting? Lava lamp?
Lava lamp, lava lamp, lava lamp, lava lamp. Joe Rogan experience.
And the next few seconds are such a wild experience. Suddenly, the speedrunner is in a cave, or in the nether, I'm not sure. Nope, never mind, they're just in a cave. Then it somehow turns into the end. My brain hurts so much watching this. It is such a fever dream. But by some miracle, the Ender Dragon spawns in the end. Unfortunately, the speedrunner is brought out of the end, and they have arrived to... What?
No, we're in Mexico. We're in Mexico. Go back, go back. Back to the end. Back to the end. No, Canada. We don't want that.
What? Is something wrong with Canada? Well, at this point, this has more twists and turns than a Minecraft YouTuber drama. The speedrunner is currently floating in the sky. They stare directly into a cloud, and now, by some miracle, they're back in the end.
I think we're the end. Yep. Bruh. Oh, shoot. I lost the key on my keyboard.
And while they are just slamming on their keyboard, clearly not doing any of this, a key on their keyboard actually pops off because they are so aggressive with it. This is AI Minecraft history. This speedrunner finds the endgame portal filled, and they might actually complete AI Minecraft in under 2 minutes. So they enter the portal, you can't see anything in front of you, and just like that, in 1 minute 59 seconds, they beat AI Minecraft and get a victory royale. This speedrun, believe it or not, is a legitimate speedrun of Minecraft Granny, which I didn't even know exists. You are in for a treat. The speedrunner loads up their world. You got some tips on the screen. Be quiet, she hears everything. Yeah, that's right, Grandma hears everything. And thus begins the Granny speedrun saga on day 1. The speedrunner wakes up in a room alone, opening the door, exiting the room they spawned in. They go down the stairs, passing through the kitchen, and oh my gosh, is that the evil Granny? Absolutely terrifying. But this speedrunner is a professional. They open up the cupboard, picking up a book titled Angeline. I have no idea what this is. So the speedrunner returns, going back up the stairs, opening the door in front of them, opening up a trap door, flipping a lever, which ends up opening some sort of secret room behind a bookshelf. And in that room, the speedrunner places down this mysterious book on a pedestal. Oh no, the granny cam is on screen and Granny is mopping the floors. That is terrifying. At this point, the speedrunner leaves this secret room, finding an object on the ground titled Spider Key. Well, the speedrunner goes down the stairs, passing again through the kitchen into what appears to be the living room, placing down the lever called Spider Key, which opens up a trap door. But wait a second, where are they going? Well, I'll tell you. The speedrunner goes into the kitchen, picking up an item called part of shotgun number 2. But when they turn around, oh my Lanta, is that Granny? Extreme, cue the intense music. Granny has caught sight of the speedrun. This is not looking good for the world record attempt. Never mind, that was actually kind of anticlimactic. The speedrunner runs away for like 5 seconds, then they go into the basement, and then they go even further down into what appears to be a second basement. How many basements does Granny have? Whoa, hang on a second. Why does Granny have such a nice car? Well, the speedrunner puts the part of the shotgun into a hopper. Then they pick up a stick on the shelf called part of shotgun number 1, throwing that also into the hopper. Then the speedrunner returns to the first basement, and hang on a second, Tony, do a zoom. What is that? Oh, this speedrunner is in for a error. I do believe that is Granny behind the corner. Play the scary music. Well, the speedrunner does break this trap door in front of them, but hang on a second. Was that a sudden cut? Buddy, I thought this was a real speedrun. I am flabbergasted. Am I being made a fool of right now? You know what? Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe his computer was just lagging. Well, the speedrunner enters into, I don't know what, the dirt dungeon of Granny's house. I have no idea what part of Granny's house this is supposed to be, but the speedrunner breaks another trap door, and it appears to be cut again. So I'm not sure if this is intentional, or the mod is just glitchy, or this guy is just a big stinky cheater, but I'm curious and I want to find out. Well, in the room that they broke into, they get part of shotgun number 3. They exit Granny's dirt dungeon, going back down into Granny's fallout shelter bunker. They throw the shotgun part number 3 into the hopper, opening up a shulker box, and just like that, they got an M1897. Holy cow, Granny is never gonna see this one coming. At this point, I have completely lost track of where this speedrunner is. This does not even look like a grandmother's house anymore, but the plot thickens because the speedrunner approaches what appears to be a bird's cage in this one section of the house. They use their shotgun, but as the bird dies in front of them, there is another cut, and you can very clearly see that the speedrunner was teleported, which begs the question, is this mod just horribly broken like every other Minecraft mod in existence, or are they cheating? Could this be a fake speedrun? Regardless, the speedrunner does get a feather from the bird, as well as a button that is called remote control. I'm kind of disappointed that the speedrunner didn't get to use the shotgun on Granny. Well, the speedrunner returns to the main central part of the house where they spawned in, putting down the button next to this door, opening the door, getting the chain cutter. But hang on a second, the speedrunner takes a sudden turn, and out of nowhere, Granny is there staring us down like a scary sleep paralysis demon. Cue the intense chase music. Wait, what? The speedrunner throws the chain cutter into the hole in the living room. They turn around and oh my gosh, the speedrunner is slain by Granny. So like, does that mean that they're not gonna get the world record? They respawn. It says day 2. They go back down to the living room and there she is in all of her glory. But if you ask me, Granny is not looking too good lately. I think she needs some vitamin D. I don't know what is happening anymore. The speedrunner pushes down a button on the windowsill right next to the dining room. Then they are teleported to what appears to be a prison cell block, going into the shed, picking up a melon? Question mark? Then they put the melon in the item frame on the barrel, opening up the barrel, getting a weapon key. And at this point, I am beginning to doubt, is this even an official Minecraft mod? Or is this just some sort of wild ARG roleplay that I'm witnessing? The speedrunner hits another button, bringing them back to the living room of the house. And there she is again, sitting at the front door of the house, waiting for company. I hate to break it to you, Granny, but you're not getting company looking like that. So the speedrunner doubles around the house, going back up the stairs into this room, putting the weapon key into an item, into a picture frame. They open up a trapdoor, revealing a barrel, and inside the barrel is a crossbow. And surprise, surprise, there is a second barrel, and inside are 2 tranquilizer darts. This speedrunner is going hardcore. They are gonna trank Granny Granny out. She is never gonna see it coming. Fake speedrun or not, I am thoroughly entertained. Well, I don't know what's going on. The speedrunner goes down a set of stairs, and now it appears as if they're in the SpongeBob dimension. Well, they're peeking through a window using the crossbow to trigger a button, but oh brother, come on, you missed. The second shot, they get it, opening up the door. And what is with the speedrun? Come on, this guy gets a weapon every time but doesn't use it on Granny. Well, they pick up a wooden stick on the ground right next to what appears to be skull and bones in Granny's basement. What has she got going on? So the speedrunner goes back up the stairs into the basement, back into the main area of Granny's humble little abode. Then they throw the stick into that ditch in the living room. And at this point, I'm trying to figure out, why is the speedrunner throwing wire cutters and a stick into a hole in Grandma's living room? And better yet, this begs the question, where is Granny? Oh my gosh, I found Granny. There she is. A Granny Minecraft speedrun is more in-depth and time-consuming than a regular Minecraft speedrun. This guy travels back to the SpongeBob dimension basement, and again, what appears to be a very sudden cut. Oh man, I hate to accept it, but this is a fake speedrun, isn't it? I had so much respect for this guy, evading Granny with so much skill and etiquette. I'm not sure what the speedrunner is doing. They pick up their crossbow and arrows that they left in the room. I don't know why they dropped it in the first place. Then back into the main area of the house, the speedrunner gets their crossbow ready, and at the top of the staircase, Tony do a zoom. Is that Granny in her bedroom just waiting, spawn camping the fake speedrunner like this? I cannot believe it. The speedrunner aims in, shooting the target, and the dispenser drops. I don't know what, but I need to find out. I am invested in this drama. The speedrunner is currently being chased by Granny. He drops his crossbow and his arrow. I don't know why. And then they pick up the item, the screwdriver. At this point, the speedrunner is in the basement. They break a trap door, and look at that. No unusual cuts, which leads me to believe this unfortunately is a fake speedrun of a Minecraft mod about Granny. But then again, I could be wrong because it appears as if the speedrunner is using the screwdriver to break the trapdoor, which may be why there's no cut and it's not janky. But behind that trapdoor, they get a rusty padlock key. And oh no, Granny is back at the top of the stairs. Granny has the high ground. This is not good. If I could play Duel of the Fates right now without getting copyright struck, I would. But I'm not going to because I don't want to get demonetized. Well, I am just confused now. The speedrunner returns to the living room, going down into the ditch. They pick up all of their items that they threw down into that hole, which makes me wonder, why did they waste so much time throwing the items into the hole when they could have just kept all of them in their hotbar? Like, Buddy literally died to Granny because he was throwing items in the hole. Not very efficient, if you ask me. And again, they do the same thing. They throw 2 items down into the ditch beneath them, wasting a ton of time, but then they're carrying the chain cutter with them as they drop down. But regardless, I am so invested. Why does Granny have Pan's Labyrinth underneath their little abode? This is like that horrifying movie Barbarian. Granny has been digging a huge tunnel system underneath her homestead. The speedrunner takes a corner, and out of nowhere, it's like a T-virus monster from Resident Evil. There is scary music playing, but just like that, the Granny spider just gets distracted. I don't know what is going on, but the AI for these enemies are really stupid. Again, I am just confused now. The speedrunner goes all the way through this labyrinth only to throw the wire cutter on the ground. They go all the way back, running into the spider Granny. They go all the way back to pick up a singular item, not 2 of them, running all the way back deep into the labyrinth only to drop down that singular item. Then they go all the way back to the beginning to pick up a wooden stick, putting it into the picture frame. Then they use their wire cutter, at which point there is a sudden cut. It looks like the speedrunner has escaped Granny's house. Wow, I am so happy for them. This is not your typical weekend at your grandma's, so I'm glad he's back out in the wild, living life as he should. Regardless though, I am very curious as to what I just witnessed because it was pretty darn cool. This speedrun I am so excited for. They have everything prepared for a legitimate speedrun. Wait, hang on a second. What does that say? Minecraft ARG speedrun any percent? What in the world? Does the end of the speedrun splits say shit your pantaloons? Hang on, I gotta watch this. The speedrunner clicks single player, opening up world 3. So their world loads in, and everything is looking pretty normal here. They open up the chest, they get some wood and put it into their hotbar, climbing up to the top of their house, finishing up the roof. Man, seeing this version of Minecraft is so nostalgic looking. Well, the speedrunner finishes building their home, and then next up on the clipboard of fun is to go into a cave. So the speedrunner enters the cave, pausing the game, and then if you listen to the speedrun audio, you can very clearly hear a creepy noise, which makes me suspicious. What is going on here? Well, clearly the speedrunner is spooked because they exit the cave, and while they are walking, they change their render distance. Everything is all fogged up. Things are not looking too good here. Out of nowhere, the speedrunner comes upon a sign that just says lowercase, and immediately upon seeing that sign, if you listen to the audio, you can hear Morse code beeping in the background. And just like that, there's some random cobblestone house that has just appeared out of thin air. Or, as the splits would say, I didn't build this. Hang on a second. Is this next structure supposed to be an Among Us imposter? And spoiler alert, the next moment in this speedrun is see spooky figure. And as the speedrunner turns around, Tony, do a zoom. The spooky figure is just an image overlaid onto the footage. Well, the pantaloons were certainly spoiled because the speedrunner pauses the game, exiting the world, getting the Minecraft ARG speedrun any % world record in 1 minute and 28 seconds. Bravo.
This speedrunner starts off in the air, then they approach a Wish.com recreation of a tree, and when they break it, inside is a bunch of items. Planks, sticks, and apples. Buddy, who are you trying to fool here? So they make a crafting table and craft some tools. A pickaxe, an axe, a shovel, and wait, what was that? You can hear the sound of someone breaking blocks. Well, they walk towards the sounds, and there's a gigantic hole. The speedrunner jumps down this suspicious ditch, and they fall directly into an ancient city. What in tarnation? They try to make a stone pickaxe using tough blocks, but it doesn't work. And all of a sudden, cobblestone just appears out of thin air. Okay. They craft a stone pickaxe and mine a ton of iron ore. But how are they gonna smelt that iron ore? Well, more cobblestone is just pooped from the sky. So they craft a furnace, make an iron pickaxe, and then they conveniently find diamonds. They leave the ancient city, and on their way out, they walk right past a warden, and it just stands there. The speedrunner runs through a lush cave, places their furnace, and they waste a ton of time smelting their 4 stacks of iron. But it's okay, because their portal just starts making itself. The speedrunner suspiciously walks to a specific area of the cave, but keep a close eye on their experience levels. There's an extremely subtle cut, and they walk back to their magical nether portal, and out of nowhere, the speedrunner suddenly has flint in their inventory. They craft flint and steel, light the portal, and enter the nether. And sometimes in the nether, pro speedrunners will utilize a strategy called render distance manipulation. This speedrunner tries to do that, but instead, they just start changing all of their Minecraft settings. Yeah, I don't think turning clouds on and off is gonna do anything for you, buddy. So he explores the nether, and wait, why is he walking off that cliff? What? Yeah, I kid you not, the path he's walking on is literally building itself. Well, he follows his yellow brick road, and after a while it leads him right to a bastion. The speedrunner actually finds some really good loot in the bastion, like blocks of gold and golden apples. But I have a feeling the piglins here are paid actors, because the speedrunner throws iron ingots at them, and they get 13 ender pearls. Maybe changing the cloud settings did do something. They make their way out of the bastion and back to their magical pathway, heading back to the nether portal. And once the speedrunner is in the overworld, they start using questionable methods to locate the stronghold. They start placing random blocks and signs with numbers on them. This guy's a real rocket scientist, but he presses F3, lines his crosshairs up with a very specific angle, and throws an ender pearl. And as soon as he lands, he just starts digging straight down, violating the #1 rule in Minecraft. But someone's gonna have to explain to me what he did, because somehow it worked. Yeah, he dug straight into a stronghold. And on top of that, the end portal only needs 2 more eyes of ender. But wait a second, when did the speedrunner get this blaze rod? He makes blaze powder and crafts an eye of ender, completes the portal, and enters the end. And so far, maybe the speedrunner could have gotten away with cheating, but when they're in the end, they walk to the edge of the island and they find Iron Man? This one was legit. This speedrunner spawns in the middle of nowhere and runs around for a bit. But wait a second, the speedrunner only has 4 hearts and no hunger bar? What in tarnation? As they explore the world, they locate a village. The speedrunner rummages through the houses and finds some decent loot. An iron pickaxe, an iron sword, 3 obsidian. They continue exploring, and on their journey, they kill some pigs for food. But the pigs are getting thrown super high. Something's funny, and it's not my low subscriber count. After spending a few minutes punching pigs into the sky, the speedrunner conveniently finds a ruined nether portal. And they have just enough obsidian to complete it. Coincidence? I think not. But there's just one problem. They don't have flint and steel. Well, they somehow managed to jump onto the top of the nether portal, and on top of it is flint and steel. Thanks, Mojang. So they light the portal, enter the nether, and everything seems normal. Until I started listening to the audio for this speedrun, I noticed that every time the player jumps, he sounds like Mario? Nah, that can't be possible. So they waste a ton of time in the nether until they walk into a dead end. And watch what happens to see if you can spot what's wrong. The speedrunner very subtly made a cut to the speedrun, and after the cut, they traveled directly to a bastion. In your dreams, buddy. They find some gold blocks, mine them, and turn them into ingots. Then they find a piglin conveniently trapped behind a wall. But instead of trading with it, they look up, break the block above them, and they get 3 ender pearls. Then they give their gold to the piglin. I don't think the speedrunner understands how trading works in Minecraft. After their completely legitimate means of trading, they continue exploring the nether until they reach a lava lake. Now, I was expecting them to, I don't know, bridge across it, but instead, yeah, somehow they just bounce their way across the nether. They eventually find a nether fortress and punch their way through some blazes, getting 3 blaze rods. And once again, they get right back to bouncing on the lava. But wait a second, is that a nether portal? Did the frame to this portal just grow legs and walk away? So he enters his bootleg nether portal and returns to the overworld. The speedrunner crafts Eyes of Ender, throws one, and goes in that direction. And on their way to finding the stronghold, they instead find a water slide? And it leads them directly to the stronghold. What in tarnation? So they find the portal and it has 2 eyes missing. Must be a lucky coincidence. So they fill the portal and wait, why are they going to third person? Is that Mario?
Here we go! It's me, Mario!
This baloney head just got the new Minecraft speedrun world record, playing as Mario. This speedrunner starts off by finding a village. They get Frostwalker boots and test them out on the water. Then they mine some coal, harvest pumpkins, and walk on lava. Wait, this is the wrong footage. This is the luckiest speedrun I've ever seen. They start off right outside of a desert temple. The speedrunner breaks this tree, and this must be a new 1.19 feature, because under this tree is buried a treasure chest. They find 64 oak logs, and the speedrunner says this.
Yo, I think this is like 1 in a billion chance.
So they enter the desert temple from the top of it, but while they're breaking the block, they have even more to say.
Seems like it's looted.
Yeah, it was definitely looted, buddy. We know you removed this pressure plate. They jump to the bottom and find stupid lucky items. Netherite armor, a diamond pickaxe, and 64 notch apples. The speedrunner breaks through the TNT, and they find diamond blocks, but it gets worse. Beneath the diamond blocks is the end portal. What in tarnation? Well, despite this speedrunner's miraculous luck, they waste a ton of time digging back up to the surface. Right outside of the desert temple is a ruined nether portal, and the loot inside of the chest is questionable. A netherite hoe? Okay. But they do get obsidian, a fire charge, and more notch apples, as if 64 weren't enough already. So they fill in the nether portal, but again, they waste a ton of time trying to find iron and flint. So the speedrunner searches the temple again, and after a few minutes, they finally realize they can use the fire charge to light the nether portal. This is painful to watch. So they light the nether portal and enter the nether. And you know, it looks pretty normal. There's some netherrack, some trees, a chest that says do not take, but we don't have to worry. This speedrunner's a good guy. He's not gonna cheat, and he opened the chest. Also, there's ancient debris right in front of them, but they're so good they don't even need it. So the speedrun returns to the overworld, and again, they go back to their desert temple, diamond shrine, end portal bonanza. Fill the portal with eyes and enter the end. But wait a second, something's wrong, and I'll just let the speedrunner tell you.
Where's the ender dragon?
Out of nowhere, someone starts typing in chat saying, I already killed the ender dragon. You will have to face me. The speedrunner fights in a grueling battle against this Alibaba.com Ender Dragon, but halfway through, the Ender Dragon sets their game mode to survival. This is painful to watch.
Let's go! Dead, man, you're dead. You're actually dead.
And just like that, this speedrunner secured the world record 100% legitimately.
Subscribe and like.
Hey, you heard the speedrunner, subscribe. This speedrun looks normal, but it's not. They spawn in, find a village, and get some hay. Then the speedrunner starts punching this tree. And there's a very unusual series of cuts, where in a matter of seconds, we go from the tree to the inventory to a crafting table. Nothing seems different, but just wait. This is their cheating warm-up. As they approach an iron golem, it sounds like they're doing breathing exercises to physically prepare for the battle. The only problem here is that they built 2 blocks up, not 3, so the golem can still hit them. But just watch.
Hold up! Alright.
Totally legit. So they make some food, an iron pickaxe, and a bucket. But hang on a second. Did you catch that? When they make their iron pickaxe, they use up all of their iron. And after a very subtle cut, they suddenly have 4 iron ingots out of thin air. Either this guy is a magician or he's the worst cheater in the world. But I honestly don't know. He could be a magician. Watch this.
According to my calculations, if I mine down from this spot, I will fall into gravel. Oh, and would you look at that?
I'm assuming this was the same luck that Dream had in his speedruns too. The speedrunner crafts flint and steel and begins looting the villager houses. And again, did you see what just happened? If I replay the last few seconds in slow motion, there is another slide cut from this goofy goober. And this guy's middle name must be creative mode because you can just barely see that they changed their game mode. Again. Well, inside this chest is nothing spectacular, just a hunk of emeralds. Which begs the question, why did they go in creative mode? Well, these next few moments are the goofiest speedrun strats of all time.
Alright, let's see what this guy has to trade.
This guy's username is Slinky, but he should honestly consider changing it to Stinky. You saw it here first, the world's first 1 in a million villager trade. And with their newly found diamonds, they craft full diamond armor and tools. As if this speedrun wasn't already bad enough, you are about to witness the worst acting of all time.
Oh no, we're falling down a hole! Wait, whoa, what's this?
The speedrunner fell into a huge cave filled with literally every resource needed to make a nether portal. So naturally, they attempt to make a portal, emphasis on attempt.
Oh, come on!
And I kid you not, they actually wasted time on the clock watching a nether portal tutorial. This is just so embarrassing. After lots of practice though, of course, the speedrunner successfully builds a nether port. Wait a second. I would literally rather have explosive diarrhea than continue to watch this horrible speedrun. Whether we like it or not, the speedrunner is in the nether now, and I think they're gonna try and channel some of that dream luck from earlier. Because they start to mine into a random wall of netherrack, and watch what happens.
At least stop. Oh my goodness, guys, we just found the nether fortress.
What in tarnation? So the speedrunner explores the nether fortress and finds a blaze spawner. After waiting a very long time for the blaze to spawn, I guess they just couldn't wait any longer, as the speedrun is cut and they receive a special delivery of a whopping 64 blaze rods. Santa came early this year. What a miracle. And if you were to ask me if the speedrun gets worse, just watch this next cut. They're in a totally different area and they suddenly have 23 gold ingots. So the speedrunner throws the gold at the piglins to trade and they get exactly 16 ender pearls. For each trade, there is a 2.18% chance of getting 2 to 4 ender pearls. To get 16 pearls from 4 gold ingots, this guy must be the luckiest man on earth. Or his name is Drew.
Let's go back to the nether portal now. I gotta be honest, I couldn't actually find the nether portal, so I just made this one.
Whenever you feel like you've hit a low in life, just remember this speedrun exists. Now that the speedrunner's back in the overworld, they craft Eyes of Ender and attempt locating the stronghold. They dig straight down into the stronghold, finding the portal room, filling the frame, and entering the end. When in the end, the speedrunner displays their extreme agility and skill by doing this ender pearl clutch. They break the end crystals, and once again, the speedrunner shows off their skills and raw talent by doing a water bucket clutch.
Alright, guys.
With all of the end crystals destroyed and only 10 seconds left of the speedrun video, let's guess how the speedrun is going to end. Will the speedrunner propose to the Ender Dragon, throw a meatball at Minecraft Steve, or legally change his name to Gooby? He legally
Alright, just like that, guys, we have killed the Ender Dragon.
Well, that was definitely the most speedrun of all time. This speedrunner spawns in a jungle biome, then they use their elytra to fly. Afterwards, they beat an illager raid and ride a minecart to the stronghold. Then, the speedrunner climbs on the wall and shoots a bunch of arrows. Wait, this is the wrong footage. This speedrun actually made me really hungry. Just watch and you'll see. They spawn on what appears to be the roof of a villager house. Correction, a weaponsmith house. But, for some reason, this block is just missing. This must be a chunk error. So the speedrunner enters the weaponsmith house and opens this chest. It wasn't a chunk error. If I had a penny for every time I've had to watch a speedrunner get full netherite armor, I'd have enough pennies to give to every single one of my subscribers. Also, I just have to point out, listen to what the speedrunner calls the Totem of Undying.
Oh, netherite armor and whatever that is, that weird looking ogre thing.
From here on out, I will only refer to totems as weird looking ogre things. The speedrunner equips their newly found armor, but watch closely and see if you notice what happens here. Yeah, there is a very subtle cut to the speedrun, which is made evident by the fact that their timer malfunctioned back to 0 seconds. Either there's a new update that allows hay to grow, or this guy's a big stinky cheater, because the hay in front of him has seemingly multiplied. So the speedrunner collects this hay, then they they follow the path leaving the village. Wait, why are they staring at this wall? Yet another cut in the speedrun, and come on, man, did you think I wouldn't notice you changed the hay to golden apples? If you're wondering if this gets worse, spoiler alert, it does. They turn around and there's an unusually tall nether portal that just poofed itself into existence. I guess staring at walls is the best and newest speedrun strategy now. The speedrunner steps into their portal, making great time, and enters the nether. This is not the nether. Was there a new update I didn't hear about? We should honestly start a GoFundMe page for the speedrunner, because I think their computer is just broken. Their timer doesn't work, their nether portal malfunctioned. What next? The speedrunner jumps down this hole, and luckily they do find a working nether portal, depending on your definition of working. So they enter their bootleg nether, and it's got everything the real nether would have. Blaze, lava, a magical frog wizard. Yeah, you're probably wondering how they get 65 blaze rods. Mikey, roll the clip.
If you look into the lava, everything just quadruples. Right, has it worked? It's worked! Yes, the frog has spawned! The mighty frog!
After the speedrunner gets their blaze rods from the miraculous toad, you can probably notice their nether portal is just suddenly working again. So they enter it, and before I show you this next part, where do you think it's gonna take them? Just take a wild guess. The nether, the overworld, McDonald's? Oh man, how did this speedrunner know I love McDonald's? Yeah, I get a Big Mac with large fries and a chocolate milk. Okay, sorry, back to the speedrunner. They get Eyes of Ender, portal frames, and a beef patty from the villager, McDonald's employee, and the speedrunner tries to build an end portal. Emphasis on tries. They try building their portal again, successfully entering the end. And the rest of the speedrun is pretty standard stuff, you know? They go into creative mode, their timer malfunctions for the 50th time, and they beat the game in a whopping 3.82 seconds. Now that that's over, I'm gonna go get some McDonald's. This speedrun, I have so many questions. They immediately go underground to mine for diamonds, and what do you know? They find diamonds, but they discover an unusual bedrock chasm in front of them. So the speedrunner explores this area, finding a mysterious hole leading to the void. Is that the void or a block? They jump into the hole, and Minecraft is looking a little different here. Is this a new update to the game, or am I missing something? I've clearly missed some big updates to the game. This speedrun starts off in a rather unexpected way. I don't know if this is a personal attack on me, or they just like to threaten people, but I guess we have to subscribe. And we are greeted by the lovely sound of... I'm not quite sure, a toaster oven? Regardless, this guy's microphone quality is just horrible. But everything looks pretty legit. He's got a timer, you can see the world loading up, everything looks pretty normal here. But as soon as they spawn, a couple things look off here. Number one, they do spawn immediately into a village, which I'll give them that one, that can happen. But they are selecting the 4th slot on their hotbar, which means they probably have already played in this world and just cut it out. Maybe it's a glitch. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt here. So the speedrunner turns around, they enter a blacksmith house, and they find some pretty reasonable looking items. Some obsidian, some iron, everything here looks pretty normal to me. They do get exactly 10 obsidian, which is pretty lucky, but you know, maybe it's possible. But when they go into the next house and open up the chest, that's when things start to look just a little bit fishy here. There's just a little bit more bread and wood than you might imagine would appear in a chest. So the speedrunner spends some time reorganizing their inventory, which is a #1 priority when it comes to speedrunning. And hang on a second, I might be delirious, but I think I just saw something in the distance here. I'm gonna rewind the video. Yeah, I don't know if you see that too, but that looks like a ginormous building with a gold ingot on it. Again, I could just be delirious. Maybe we'll find out later. You may not have noticed what just happened here. For most people, this would go right over their heads. But if you didn't catch it, there was a very slight cut, and for some reason, the speedrunner decided to go into creative mode and then go back into survival mode. He thinks I'm stupid. I'm not gonna let this one get past me, buddy. Regardless, they build their obsidian nether portal, light it, and as soon as they enter the nether, everything looks pretty normal here. They walk around for a bit in the nether, and then they immediately discover a nether fortress, and they also find a very conveniently placed path of netherrack blocks. Good for them. So they jump down onto the path, and the path leads directly to a blaze spawner, which is fantastic news for the speedrunner because they are only 55 seconds into the speedrun, which means they're making world record time right now. The speedrunner kills that only blaze that is available to him, and unfortunately does not get a blaze rod. But I want you to listen for a moment to what he says next.
If I can just get 1 blaze rod, I should be fine with how good my luck is.
So if you couldn't hear him, the speedrunner said if I could just get 1 blaze rod, that'd be fine with how good my luck is, which may or may not be be foreshadowing for what happens in the future of this speedrun. They kill another blaze, unfortunately not getting any loot from that one either, but on the third blaze, they do get a blaze rod from it. And they must really believe in themselves because they get that one blaze rod and decide to leave. And before I show you this next part, I don't know if you've ever seen that movie, The Truman Show. It's kind of like that. They see a nether portal, but when they walk right past it, they've entered some sort of Walmart great value overworld. Now, you know, honestly, if I wasn't wearing my contacts right now, if I was squinting my eyes a little bit, this might fool me. Otherwise, it's very clear that they've recreated the overworld. As to why, I have no idea. But they find a block that I'm assuming is supposed to represent the sun. It turns out it is a yellow shulker box full of 64 stacks of gold ingots, which honestly, I have no idea why that would help them right now, but let's just keep on watching and find out what happens. So the speedrunner takes their miraculous loot, they go into their portal and return to the overworld. And I don't know if you remember earlier how I pointed out a ginormous looking gold ingot in the distance, but that is what the speedrunner returns to. So the speedrunner goes up to the strange and new structure, depositing their gold ingots into it, and in the barrel, they suddenly get ender pearls. I honestly don't keep up too much with Minecraft updates, but clearly I've missed out on a handful of them because I don't remember this being in Minecraft. Regardless, the speedrunner crafts their eyes of ender, they throw them up into the air, but when they jump, they fall into a very large chasm. And when they're in the void, they just suddenly appear in the stronghold. I'm not quite sure how this is all happening, but it's very entertaining. So when in the stronghold, it turns out that the portal is completely filled. The likelihood of this happening is extremely low. In addition to that, there's also a random button in the portal room. So they click it, and honestly, I'm not quite sure what's gonna happen next. That button could do anything. It could create a parallel universe, it could spawn an apple, there's only one way we're gonna find out. So at 2 minutes and 40 seconds, the speedrunner has entered the end, and at least this part of the speedrun looks pretty normal. Unfortunately though, the speedrunner just wastes like a whole minute shooting arrows at the dragon and missing most of the shots, but when they're destroying the end crystals, they get tossed by the dragon, and right when they're about to do some sort of bucket clutch or ender pearl clutch and save themselves from death, yeah, you can't make this up, there's a to be continued sign on the screen. So this is definitely the first speedrun I've ever seen where it was broken down into 2 parts, but don't worry, luckily though, I have part 2, and we're gonna watch that right now. So before I play this clip, just take a wild guess as to what might happen. Maybe they land on the ground with a water bucket, maybe they do some sort of hay bale clutch, maybe they throw an ender pearl. Regardless, you are never gonna guess. I'm just gonna play this clip and we can watch it. No. Yeah, that's right, you cannot make this up. The speedrunner, I guess they found themselves in the back room. The funniest part about this is they very clearly screen recorded this video and forgot to edit out the little YouTube logo on the bottom right of the screen. Suddenly though, the video cuts back to Minecraft. I guess the guy found himself out of the back rooms and they're now spawned on the beach with an X marks the spot right in front of them. So they dig down and the X marks the spot, finding a lot of random loot in a chest. Very, very convenient. Unusually though, I just realized that the speedrunner forgot to put their timer up, but oh well. So the speedrunner throws their eye of ender and they go running in that direction. Unfortunately though, I don't think that they're actually heading to the stronghold. They're heading to something much, much stranger. Much more strange? You're never gonna guess what they find. It is a very oversized nether portal. Casual. So the speedrunner enters the nether portal, entering the nether, and directly in front of them is a very large path. And the speedrunner decides to do some parkour on this path. They immediately die, and there is a very subtle cut. You know what, I'll give him one get out of jail free card for this one. It was entertaining. So after successfully getting through the parkour, the speedrunner finds another nether portal, and at this point, I'm wondering if this guy made this video just to waste my time. I have no idea what this is leading to. Well, they get into the overworld, and now they're in front of a house. So the speedrunner enters the house, and they find 63 blaze powder just hanging out in a brewing stand. They take the blaze powder, return to the nether portal, and back in the nether, they find a chest full of ender pearls. Well, okay, I guess they have ender pearls and blaze powder now, so they craft eyes of ender, go back into a nether portal, which I am so confused. This is the most complicated speedrun ever. When they return to their cave, it turns out that the stronghold was there. It's just kind of hanging out at the bottom. So the speedrunner fills the end portal with eyes of ender, and they jump into the portal. Of course, I'm not very surprised when they enter the end and there is a very conveniently mined staircase that leads up to the surface level. On top of that, the Ender Dragon also has like 5 health left. I don't know what else is gonna happen in the speedrun. This has been an emotional roller coaster. Yeah, unfortunately though, there's no other twists and turns in this speedrun. They killed the dragon and beat the game. I have no idea what time they got, because when we reached part 2, they just never used a timer again. That was very, very strange. This next speedrun, there is a lot to unpack here. I'm gonna have to warn you, the audio quality and the video quality is as if this guy recorded his video with a toaster oven. On top of that, I don't know why the sky looks like space. We also have the courtesy of having subtitles directly on the screen. They said they just spawned into the game, but they already have a ton of items in their hotbar. So with all that in mind, this is gonna be a little wacky, I'm sure. So I know it's gonna be difficult to tell because of the quality, but they actually enter the house in front of them, opening the chest in front of them, and it has tons of diamonds in it. And if you couldn't tell that they were surprised, the text on the screen reads, "Whoa, no way." They pick up their diamonds, and again, I know the quality is bad, I know it looks like a few pixels on the screen, but if you can't tell, directly in front of them is an end portal. And the speedrunner, they're very surprised, based on the text on the screen saying, "Oh, what?" So they jump into the portal, which teleports them to, I think this is the end, and there is a red-looking bean in front of them. And you know what, I just realized I probably should have put a warning out to the headphone users out there. The audio is extremely loud. So I guess somehow this speedrunner teleported into the Among Us dimension. I'll give him 10 points for creativity. So before the imposter is about to kill them, they spawn a bunch of guardians.
The guardian angels saved them.
Pressing a button to call an emergency meeting, and I guess they eject the imposter. Then the video just immediately cuts to the Minecraft credit screen. So I guess they beat the game, and this was definitely the most unique speedrun I've ever seen. The beginning of this speedrun, oh, it's gonna make us both wake up. I'm not even gonna say anything, I'm just gonna play it, and you need to experience this amazingness. That's not a word. That intro really made me feel like I was back in 2011 trick-shotting on Modern Warfare 2. Oh yeah, you know the speedrun's gonna be good when it has an intro like that, and when the video quality looks stretched out like a Moist Critical video. And again, I know this one's fake. They're selecting the 3rd slot on their hotbar. It says set on game mode to survival. It doesn't take Bill Nye the Science Guy to figure out this is fake. Well, the speedrunner breaks this tree, they make a crafting table, and they craft some tools. I'm not sure what the speedrunner pressed, but they got a pop-up on their screen saying social interactions are only available in multiplayer worlds. Honestly, I have never seen that before. I have no idea what they were trying to do. Anyways, the speedrunner digs down, collecting 3 granite. I'm honestly not really sure what they're trying to do here. They go to their crafting table and make I don't know, a thick boat? Then they make sticks, and they attempt to make a granite pickaxe. You cannot make this up. You know what? This kind of thing happens. Just the other week, I was very tired, and instead of putting toothpaste on my toothbrush, I put hand soap on my toothbrush. Granite, cobblestone, what difference does it make? The speedrunner, honestly, they waste like 5 minutes just walking around doing nothing until they start typing /ag. I don't know what that means. On top of that, their chat history reveals a lot about themselves. I have no idea what they're doing, filling 473 blocks, or going to the end, falling out of the world, filling more blocks, falling out of the world again. I am so excited to watch the rest of the speedrun. Well, it doesn't matter. The cat is out of the bag now, and the speedrunner just gives up everything and goes into creative mode. They land onto the ground, and I love how it looks like they're going to put themselves into survival mode, but they have second thoughts and they go, you know what, adventure mode, which now that I think about it is probably not better for them. Well, the speedrunner finds a village, and inside one of the village houses, there is a chest with some considerable looking items. Now that the speedrunner has literally everything that they would need, they explore more and they find a desert temple, which is very confusing to me because I don't know why they would need this. They have everything that they would need. You're never gonna guess what happens. They go inside the desert temple, dig all the way down with a sword, which is very slow, and like a dummy, they land right on the pressure plate. And I don't know if you could tell, but they're worried. The text on the screen says, oh no. The TNT explodes, and they land, I kid you not, directly into the stronghold portal room. And you could tell they're surprised because the text on the screen says OMG. For all the parents out there listening, if you don't know, OMG means oh my glob. So the speedrunner shows off their extreme skill and agility by missing a bunch of Eyes of Ender when they're filling the portal. They jump into the end portal and enter the stronghold. Nope, I'm so stupid. I didn't mean to say that.
They enter the end, is what I'm getting at. And in the end, the Ender Dragon has maybe 1 health, maybe 5 if he's lucky. And you remember earlier how we found out that the speedrunner filled like thousands of blocks? When they turn around, I think this is maybe what they did with the blocks. And this guy has the gabagools to ask us to subscribe? That is crazy. And if you guys aren't subscribed to my channel yet, make sure to subscribe. Yeah, thanks. You're not gonna believe it. These next few moments is like a scene from a Michael Bay movie. It's like a fight scene out of the Daredevil TV show. The speedrunner uses their rockets and elytra to blast into the middle of the end island, bringing out their bow, doing a 360 no-scope trick shot, one-shotting the Ender Dragon. That was very, very impressive. And what would have been more impressive is if they just speedran the game legitimately. Nonetheless, I was entertained, I'm not gonna lie. This definitely gave me a good chuckle. This speedrun, well, the speedrunner starts off by breaking a tree, and then they make a crafting table, and they make a Dyson fan. Now it looks like the speedrunner is entering into a new dimension, the dimension where he kills a light bulb with a blue paintbrush, and then he got his golden french fry, and it looks like he actually just broke it down into some particles now, the french fry particles, and now he has a dirty penny. The speedrunner is entering the purple Dyson fan territory. This dimension is that of blobs. No, never mind. He's filling the end portal with ice. I knew that. The speedrunner flies into the end portal and he defeats the purple cat. Just like that, he beat the game in 78 seconds. Wow.